Okay, here's a game for one of my students. He's playing black, or white. I've been on this guy for 2 years to learn to play, like, play the open. He doesn't want to play it. Okay, I guess I can't teach an old dog new tricks. But he does get a good game with this closed system. Okay, now, I don't know if that's really a threat. If you want to go in there next, maybe. Okay, that puts the question, but strategically, this lets black trade the only minor piece that can control d4, although this pawn is not on c4, so it's probably a good move. So the game looks pretty even. White's gonna probably try for f4 and f5 at some point. Maybe not. Let's back this up. One of the ideas of the closed is white will try to attack the enemy king, and black will endeavor to advance and expand on the queen side. So the game is even. There's a threat here for black. But this gives white a very interesting move here, and that's to play d4. I hope he does it. Well, I guess he can just steal a pawn. I miss one movers. Okay, the idea with d4, my brain is primed for this because I recognize that this gives the chance to give black an isolated queen pawn, but I guess we're just taking it. And does black have anything for it? So black's d5 was probably premature. White controls it 3 times. Okay, clearly not paying attention. No, he's going to get this. Okay, so let's back this up. Maybe I was right. Let's play here. Now, this pawn remains a target. Okay. If takes, we're erecting our blockade. We're blockading the isolated pawn. And that's one weakness in black's position. Takes 2. You got 1. 1 down, 1 to go. So I like isolating the pawn. Okay. See, I don't look at these in advance. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Unless I'm in a prepared variation when I play a game, or duplicating a game I already played, and that's rare. I'm on my own. I have to solve everything when I play a game. I have to solve the position, try to find the best move, try to find the best plan, try to follow the plan. And so a cold approach is your best because you're analyzing. This is how I analyzed correspondence chess. By looking at all the variations. So right now I'm going to call the game even, and white lost a chance to give black a weakness.
Check.
Now this is double-edged. I was considering it. I don't think it's the smartest thing here, though. The reason is we're not going to get enough play on this thing. But what are the alternatives? The alternative is to come back and just say this game is even. Takes. Maybe black would do this with visions of castling long and trying the attack. So white doesn't have activity for this queen, and advancing the c pawn will create a weakness on d3. So I like black's game a lot here.
Check.
Now, white has to be careful here because, black is 2 moves away from delivering a checkmate. And we have to move the rook to starters. Now, this to me is critical, but it looks like white has a resource, knight f4. But we have to plan for that. So what if black played an ultra sharp move like G5 right here? Now let's burn a move. Now here it comes. How are you going to guard that mate? You know, it looks pretty gruesome here. So what did black do? Black castled. But yeah, this is an interesting move here. You know, what does white do here? We have to stop the queen from coming in. I guess we could go over here, right? Okay. But there are other paths to, I don't know. Let's just, you know, we're starting the pawns rolling. Let's get them going. I don't know. Let's see. Wait, we might have a problem here. Maybe because now this knight's off the file. We have to worry about this. We have to worry about this. So on knight there, well, we could do this, and we still have visions of doing this. Now, there are some ideas of attacking the enemy king with a pawn storm when you've castled on the same side. White should probably play something like this. Try to take advantage of the loose squares in the black position. So I don't know. G5 might have been a little too ambitious. Bishop D6 takes this move away. So, like for instance, here takes. Oh, that's check. Darn it. We don't have this. Let's see. So knight F, bishop D6, knight F4 is on the bishop. Yeah. It looks like white has resources. But black has other moves here. How about a pin? You know, let's pin that critter. And we'll try a different approach here. Okay, white needs to break the pin. Now, at some point, we can park this bishop here and try to get the queen down here. And there are many ways to get there. We can go to D7 and H3. We go to D5 and H5. You know, white has things to solve here. Black can still consider castling kingside, but let's try this approach. How do you get rid of this bishop? You know, this just seems, you know, fatal. Now they're covering this square. Let's see. You know, white's accepted a weakness. I guess we also have to watch out for stuff like this again too. That's a little messy, huh? But you know, the fact that white has to stop and play king f1 to try to defend this position, you know, this was risky to take that. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so black castled, and you know, some of these ideas can still come back. Okay, that's smart. Let's make sure it doesn't pin us. And now maybe white's hoping to get his own attack off and running. Okay, maybe we have to stop and do this. Let's see. Yeah, he did. Now here's the case where we're trying to maybe just dominate on the light squares. But I don't know. Let's see. It's got some ideas. The rook will be under attack. Then maybe we can swing it over here and then bring it across laterally. Okay, so white's going about his business. He wants to attack. And he'll probably play queen h5 here. Yep. Okay, so black's got to defend. Let's see. Is H6 forced? Certainly almost looks like it. The other alternative was this. Gets crazy. Yeah, we can't do this. Have to take here.
Check.
And I don't know. White's attack is kind of running out of oomph here. This is a threat, trapping the queen. Although, though he gets 2 rooks for it. I don't know. But who wants to have this pawn structure as black? Yuck. Okay. So now got to make sure that there's no sacrifice down here at some point, but we don't have a good place to put the knight to do that. So he steals a pawn. And there's a pin. Protects. And it looks like black is getting his pawn back. Okay, so there's a rook on f8 that's not under attack yet because of the pin. Black's looking pretty good here. The white king is exposed, and this bishop is kind of shut out. So it's white to move. You know, I have visions of trying to do something like this for black. Chases the queen, hits this square. Now is black winning the exchange here? No, he's not.
Check.
You know, bishop.
Check.
If you take the rook, you lose the queen. If you take the queen, the rook takes. So white's covered here. I like this move. I don't know. Maybe it's no good. Okay. We'll go with this.
Check.
Saves the rook. Now I got to be careful. Rook here allows could be a deadly check here. Okay, there's that move. Attacks the rook. Looking for relief.
Check.
Okay, now the game might be headed towards a draw here, but there's still chess to be played. Okay, so I don't know. White got rid of his isolated pawn, but White's problem is you can't get that bishop in the game. And White can't get past pawns on the board, so this is turned into Black's favor.
Check. Check.
Now, if White can trade
Check.
both sets of rooks, he should be okay. We can hold those pawns back, but that's easier said than done.
Check.
To trade those rooks. And that gets the rooks off. Okay, this is the drawing move. It forces the rooks off. Now, White may drop a pawn, but White can blockade these. Okay, let's see. Takes, takes, takes. White can lose this pawn and hold a draw. That's a book draw. Black has the winning chances, but White will blockade the dark squares, and then we head for a draw. Okay, now well, maybe this is going to get the rooks off. So there's a difference Rook A7, trade, and we drop this guy. But it's trickier. This should still be a draw. But black has the winning chances here with the rooks on the board.
Check.
And black is certainly making some progress.
Check.
So here, white to play and draw should just take the pawn off, give up the bishop. And, okay, I think something like this is going to happen.
Check.
See, in theory, this is a draw, and we'll discuss it, because something like this does happen. We'll discuss it in a little bit. I don't know. This is dangerous. I don't know. Can he do this? First point is you can't take because of a mate. He guards the pawn. Now he goes in for that
Check.
line. Okay. So this is a theoretical draw, but there's a method to it. Now there are two positions. Now easiest place to look these up if you don't have a chess book is Wikipedia. Believe it or not. Okay. There's something they call the Cochrane position, and there's something they call the Philidor position. Okay. The Cochrane position, the rook holds the draw. The Philidor position, the rook loses. There's many cases of this coming up over the years. I remember one time back in the mid-70s, there were a couple of, there was like a 1900 and a 2000 playing, and there were prizes for under 2200 and under 2000. And the 1900 needed a draw to win a big prize, and the 2000 needed a win to win a big prize. So there's, the one with the extra bishop is not going to give up the draw with $400, $500, $600 at stake. Now, 40 years ago, that was more, a lot more money than it is today. It was over 40 years ago when this happened. So they played until about 4 in the morning, and the defender was holding, and the tournament director gave up and ordered an adjudication, and the adjudication came in draw. So the one thing that you have to avoid is when the white king gets off to the side of the board, you don't want to get in a position where you get mated or lose your rook. A lot of this defense involves in keeping that bishop pinned. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the first thing is black is threatening to give a check and drive the king over to the edge of the board. Okay, so white has to take a remedy
Check.
here. So a check is good, but black will probably block with the bishop, and that's what he does. So now let's think about an escape route for the king. We don't want to go to the back rank, okay, or the side. We don't want to go to the side of the board. So the only way to make progress here is to bring the king up to g4, because we can't get. Well, we're gonna get thrown to the back unless we steal the g file. Let's see what he does. That's what he does. Okay. So black must reposition his rook and try to maybe come into a2 so he can check this way. It looks like white's holding this so far. The Cochrane and Philidor position don't come up until you get to the side. Okay. Now, naturally, white is happy if black will trade rooks, but black isn't going to be so generous. Okay, so now he's trying to escape this way. And he cuts him off. And he offers a trade. Maybe he come down here. And look at that, I'm a mind reader.
Check.
Now here, let's see. Maybe it's time to do this, although looks like the king has an exit point. Now he doesn't have that exit point. Now let's see. Bring the rook back. Okay, gonna go that way. So he's got the king to the side of the board, but he can't make progress. I think the method is to go here. The idea is to try to bring the king in there.
Check.
Okay, that lets him out.
Check.
Now we got to corral him over here.
Check. Check. Check.
Okay, so black has stopped making progress.
Check.
So one thing to think about if you're the defender of this position is the 50 move rule. 50 moves are played without a capture or a pawn move. You can call a draw. Now the last capture was on move 55. So, and there are no pawns left. So move 71, we've got 34 moves to make to hold the draw. I guess maybe it ended here at the end of the game. Okay, let me just verify. Whoops. Let me verify the game score here. Let me see. So white got his desired result. He held the draw. There's also a game I was just thinking, I've seen it on the internet, YouTube. There's Magnus Carlsen playing a blitz game, and he gets the bishop and rook versus the rook, and they played it out naturally. You know, if you have the bishop rook, you want to play it out. And Magnus won it. He was able to get the Philidor position. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong folder. Here it is. I'm looking for the actual PGN moves. Yeah, it doesn't say. It just they agreed to a draw here. Okay, let's have some fun here. Rather than pull up the Cochrane position, which I could do very easily, let's try to create it. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I also know of a case, it was kind of funny, back in 1982, a friend of mine bet he could win a tournament 7-0. It was a round robin. And somebody took him up on the bet, and he ended up with 6.5 half. He lost the bet, but the game that was a draw, it got adjourned because it was too late to play, and the club was shutting down, and it was this end game. And my friend that lost the bet had the rook and the bishop, but his opponent spent hours and worked out the draw. And when they resumed, he promptly demonstrated that he knew what he was doing, and the guy just said, "Okay, you got your draw," and he had to pay up his bet because he didn't win all 7 games. So let's see, what am I trying to do here? The board is shrunk. Doing something wrong. There, they're bigger. Okay. Oh, I have to. Let's have some fun here. Clear board. Okay, now let's change colors. Makes it easier for me, I think. Okay, we're going to give white the bishop. Now let's put this rook here. And let's put this rook here. Okay. Now this position appears to be a simple win for white, because all white needs to do is put his rook here, and black doesn't have a defense. Okay. See, if the threat of mate is unstoppable. So this would be the net result of the Cochrane position, where white has just, say, played maybe rook from a5 to a7. So this is the Philidor position. This is a win for white. Okay, black has no resource. Now let's change it around a little bit. Let's get rid of that rook. Let's try putting the rook here. Okay, now here it's black to play. Well, no. Well, see, it has to be black to play, or this is a mate. Okay. Darn it. How do I make black to play? Because if I
checkmate.
see, that's the threat. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Watch this. See? Now we got out of check. Now, can black hold this? So we're going to determine, is this the Philidor position or is this the Cochrane position? Can black hold this? Let's find it. Whoops. Keep making the board the wrong size. Okay. The threat is mate. So if we put the rook here, we have to be careful.
Check.
We have to be very careful, because now this is coming in. Okay, now we can't take the rook off the back rank, because if we take the, well, I don't think we can. Maybe we can. Let's see. We're going to come over this way. Let's see. This comes back to stop the mate. Now we check.
Check.
This comes back. Now we go here. Okay, now are we making any progress? Let's go to the back rank again. Maybe we didn't make any progress here. Rook over. If you guys see a win for white and I don't see it, yell at me. Let's see. Now the threat is mate. The king can't come over this way because that's still mate. The king can also try to run in some lines. He can't run to f8 because he can't run to either one. The bishop controls flight squares. Okay, so let's see. The only way for black to save this is to put his rook here. Now, let's see. I was not gaining anything. Let's see. Somebody's sending me a message on Skype. Who is that? Okay, I gotta check this. One of my students is contacting me. All right, that changes. One of my students changed the lesson time. Okay, white to play. This sure looks like the Cochrane position. So how does white win this? Let's see. What if we do this? What if we try? No, this check may not go anywhere.
Check.
This just repeats. Okay, now, wait. White to play. Now, I like the idea of burying that rook again, but he's just wiggling his way out. And it's been so long since I studied this. It's good to know this. You never know when you're going to be defending it or trying to win it. It could be a critical game. You have the position and you have a win and you don't see it. And you keep trying to set it up, and next thing you know, your opponent says, I claim a draw by the 50 move rule. Oops. Okay. And then, then the spectators who are watching come up and say, you idiot. Don't you know this? Well, I used to know it. I'm trying to solve it again. That's one of the things I like about chess. I may forget a line, a variation, but I like to think that I'm good enough to find it again. Okay, see, how many of you solved a tactical puzzle book? Okay, did you ever go back and try the book again? I hope you did. It gives you, you'll forgotten a lot of those, and say I solved these before. Well, make yourself solve them again. Okay, white to play. I think white's winning this, but maybe this could be the Cochrane position. In a minute I'm going to have to. Well, not a minute. I'm going to play with this. I want to analyze. I want you to learn how to analyze. We know there's a solution to this. I can turn the engine on. It'll tell me white wins or it's a draw. Well, that's no fun. Like I say, the reason you don't use a computer, I tell the following story. I say, imagine you lost your wallet, your comb, your car keys, your eyeglasses, whatever. Why do you always find them in the last place you looked? Well, the reason you find them in the last place you looked is you stopped looking once you found them. So if we find what the proper continuation is, we stop analyzing. You're stunning your growth. So, I know I know that the Cochrane position wins. No, I got that backward. The Cochrane position draws and the Philidor position wins. And right now we're trying to determine if this is the Philidor or the Cochrane. Now if you have white, you definitely want to play on. It's white to play here. Now, maybe some of you are thinking about a check. I'm not sure if the check really does anything. It just drives the king one direction, but let's try it.
Check.
Okay, one of the ideas is it sends the king to us. If he goes there at a square, he wants to put the rook. Now we come over here. Okay, now king here loses immediately.
Checkmate.
Right? Okay. So let's try something else. Let's put the rook here. Now we win. I think we win here. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, check.
Check.
Maybe I'm wrong. Check.
Check.
Or does he get out? I don't know. This seems a little messy. Because we have to corral him again. I don't think this is it. Okay, let's see. Check. He comes back. Let's come over here again. Now when he comes back here, now let's go over here. Now we're threatening this check, and see the rook can't block. If the king runs over here, I think we got him. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Check.
Check. Check.
Check.
Look at that.
Check.
And we've solved it, and white won. So did I solve the Cochrane position? I don't know. I make mistakes in my analysis just like everybody does. So it wasn't. Did I call it the Cochrane position? This apparently was the Philidor position. Okay, so let's back this up. I was giving the check. Now you can also run this way, but that takes away this potential square to put the rook on. Now we'll come over here. Okay. Now if the king comes over, we get him in
Checkmate.
mate. Right? So now he brings the king this way. I'm sorry, the rook this way. The idea is to block. Now, let's see. Before I was picking up the rook on by a skewer. Let's see. This threatens mate. right? Now, if rook check,
check,
and if the king runs, maybe he's getting out. Maybe not. Let's see. Check.
check,
Getting kind of messy again. We have this check, but it's not as
check,
potent. I don't know. Maybe black is surviving this. So let's see. Let's try king d8, and I was coming over here, I think, right? And then coming back this way. Now let's run over here. Maybe I was doing that already. But the problem is the king runs. Or is it a problem?
check,
No, we have one less file.
check,
See, he's not forced to come back here, and we don't pick up the rook. Okay. Okay, so let's see. This comes back. Now I was giving the check.
check,
We determined this lost. So rook moves over here, threatening a mate also, but this makes the rook come over to c1. Now we can force it back to
check,
c8, but do we get anything? I think we did. Okay. See, now if the rook comes here, we have this check.
check,
Well, darn it, he has this move. I was looking at this, and
check,
we've solved that, but he has this move. And the king is escaping, so if we come over here, he can run that way. So, this doesn't really do anything because of this check.
check,
So let's see. You got to threaten mate. Now,
check,
this is the key. But like I say, the only question is, are we reaching a Philidor or a Cochrane? So I love getting surprises when we, I didn't know this was a rook and bishop versus rook ending. So I'll try it a little while longer, and then I'll bring up the positions, and I'll get the position and then solve the win. I'm trying to set up positions and see which one is which. Okay, so coming back to the 7th, black's defense was to go run. So maybe this check. Maybe this check is incorrect. Let's see, check.
check,
Black just hold on. We go over here, and the king can't run because he gets mated. So you have to bring the rook has to be able to come back and defend. And white's problem is that he can't shut down. Well, he can shut down the rook, but he's not threatening a back rank mate. That rook is being crafty. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to surrender here and open up Wikipedia. I think it is opened up. Okay. Philidor oops, so if I spell Philidor position. So this is the one that wins. Okay, Philidor position Wikipedia. I'll give you the link too. Okay. Wait a minute, there's more than one Philidor position. Ah! Here it is. Okay. So it's a main. I had the Philidor position here. It is a win for white. I'm just not finding it. But it also says checkmate 19 moves with optimal play. Oh boy. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was thinking it's a quick one. Okay, one second. Where's you guys? Okay. You have to scroll down. There's plenty of Philidor positions. Okay, so here it's almost the same position I have set up. It's close to it. Let me get the link back here. Where'd it go? Here it is. No? Okay. Let's change the position. Okay, let's see. Well, let me go back to the beginning. They had a light squared bishop on theirs. Yeah, I thought this was the Philidor position. It just seemed like it, but I didn't solve it. Okay, so now we have identified this as the Philidor position. Now white to move wins. Checkmate 19 moves with optimal play. Let's see. Here's what it says. Another famous position studied by and named after Philidor is the ending of a rook and bishop versus a rook. White wins because his king has reached the 6th rank and black's king is poorly placed opposite the white king. If this type of position arises, it is usually because of inferior defense. Nevertheless, it is tricky to win. Yeah, don't I know? Okay, so why am I not solving this? This is so close to what we had. Okay, white to play. The check seems right. They don't give the solution. Huh? Oh well. That means I have to figure it out. Okay, let's come back here. Well, you see, this just comes down here again. And, you know, we swing over here. So he can't run with the king, but he can do this. So, you know, we're not making any progress by going this way because, you know, we shift over and the rook just follows. So I'm doing something wrong. Let me bring up the Cochrane position. Okay. All right. Why doesn't it? It's on Wikipedia. Why didn't it pop up in the main ideas? Okay. Let's see. I mean the main results. I know it's the Cochrane position, and I've looked this up before. So something's not working. It's in the book Essential Chess Endings by James Howell, published in 1997. Well, I learned it well before that. Okay, but let's try Cochrane position chess. Narrow our search. Here we go. Ah, the Cochrane position, the king doesn't reach the sixth rank. See, the Cochrane position has this back, these back here. This is over here. White has his rook on the 7th. See here, let's set up the Cochrane position. Let's kill that and that and that. And no, I killed the wrong thing. Okay, let's get the Cochrane position up. See here, this is the Cochrane position. Now here, black to move, draw with either side. So that means I've got to, if I want this position with black to move. Okay. See, here white has some trouble. He can't, his bishop is pinned, and he can't put his king on the 6th rank because he'll lose his bishop. And, you know, if you try to go this way, wait, let's see, black to play, I imagine you just keep the pin alive. If you try to go this way, we just start checking him. And when he comes here, you know, he's not making any progress. See, we need the bishop up there, and that ain't going to happen. Okay. So here the defensive strategy is, like I say, we keep that pin alive. He has to come back. And well, he could bring the rook back, but wait a minute. What am I doing? This is a checkmate.
Checkmate.
Okay, well, I do these things. But here the king is going to run. Let's see. Check. We're getting out. Okay, so let's see. But the drawing method is okay. Black to play. Some of the ideas, they give weight by moving the rook between e1 and e2. And if white's king goes this way, we go this way, and vice versa. If the king goes this way, we go this way. We threaten to run out. Okay? And we want to drive the rook away from the 7th rank. And we can do that with the king, or we can do it with the rook if our king guards the rook. And then we also want to try to get our king in the center of the board. You can't mate us in the center of the board. And get the king off the back rank and try to hold off the white king. When the white king gets back to the 5th rank, switch the rook around and head for the Cochrane position again. So the Cochrane position draws. No, wait a minute. Yeah, the Cochrane position draws. The Philidor position wins. There's something else here. I forgot about this one. The Zen position, S-Z-E-N. Let me see. Now here's a game with Carlson's. This is under that Cochrane defense. Carlson drew with Van Welly. You know, he's yeah, it's a pretty interesting. The Cochran position link on Wikipedia is pretty interesting. Did I give you guys the Philidor position link? I'm not sure if I did. I'll get it to you. No, I didn't. Let's see. Where did it go? I lost it. Here it is. And I give you that other link too. Good homework assignment for you to study. You know, some people say, "Why do I need to learn this?" I'll never. This will never happen. Well, you know, I've twice defended King versus Bishop, King versus King, Bishop, and Knight. When once against a master who didn't know how to mate, and once was against a high 1900 who didn't know the mate. A year and a half ago at the National Open, somebody in the under 19 or 1700 section didn't know how to do it either and ended up with a draw. I've seen other people that have drawn it because someone didn't know to do it. But it takes 19 moves to get there. I see, I got too many tabs open here. Okay, there's the Philidor. Oh, no, that's the same one. Darn it. I already gave you the Philidor, but I didn't give you the cock. Oh, brother. Let's see. Well, I went for Philidor first. That's why. Okay. Okay, here's the other link. Sorry about that. There's the Cochran defense. So the Cochran defense, you know, you keep the king from getting into the sixth rank. So you know, if it's on the sixth rank, it loses. If it's on the fifth rank, you hold the draw. That's the difference. It's a pretty easy rule to remember, huh? So Philidor position, where'd it go? White has bishop on d5, king on d6, rook on f7. Okay, come back here, ICC. Let's see. I'm a black to play. I'm just going to make some moves so I can get the position. No, I'll do it the right way. Let's just kill these guys. Wipe them out. Okay. Now, white king on d6, white bishop on here, king here, rook here, and rook here. So, white to move wins. Checkmate in 19 moves. Wow. I get to solve a 19 mover. I have to admit that I forgot this. One or the other. What would you do? It's okay to admit when you're wrong, so it's no shame on me. But that's the difference. If the king reaches the sixth rank, it's a win. Now the hard part is to solve it. So I'm pretty sure it starts with this check.
Check.
And then obviously we have to retreat the rook. The question is where. Let's go back to the seventh rank again. Now, if black moves his rook laterally, it seems like he's going to lose because
check.
You know the king is mated. Okay, back rank mate is coming. You can't do anything about that, right? Okay, so let's back this up. So you got to bring the rook down here. Now we know this doesn't make any progress. So you know, we've got the rook one problem is black has 3 squares he can park that rook on. We can take one of them away. We can't take all three of them away. So like if we come here, we didn't gain anything. So the choices are the check, or try the reverse approach. Now I was just thinking, one thing when they say is a mate in 19, maybe that encompasses black giving up his rook for the bishop, and then white spending 10 moves getting the checkmate. I don't know. Let's see. So the check, unless this has something to do with the different side of the board, this rook has less maneuverability here, at least over on this side. The king has less maneuverability over here. Now when he does this, well, I looked at the stuff of this, and we saw that loss, but this seemed to hold. So, you're just going to come back here. So this is the Philidor position, but I can't find the win. I used to. It's something you know it, and then you can't remember it. I remember watching that video of Magnus Carlsen's and said, "Oh, he's got the Philidor position." Black, his opponent missed a chance if it was there. It was a blitz game. I think the title is like something like "Greatest Game Ever Played," some silly title. Something that made me watch it. I wouldn't watch it otherwise. Okay, white to play. Checking just repeats the position. A bishop move allows a rook check. So
check.
He has this again. So you know what I'm going to do? I don't want to. I hate doing this. I'm gonna throw up my hands and say I can't win this. Okay. Sometimes we have to admit that we can't win this. So I'm going to break the rules because it's important you guys know the answer. So let's take this back here, and we're going to break my rule and let the engine do it because I'm not sure what book this is in. White to play here. Stockfish will find the answer. Now it's only got white up by. Now it solved it. White's up by a rook. Okay, so here, let's see, what am I missing? Now rook c2. Now we come back over here. That's strange. Now he's going to go back to e2. Let's see where we're making progress. And now we come over here to b7. I don't know. I was thinking that didn't work because of king c8. Now it says mate in 23. Let's see, what's wrong with king c8? We go over here. Now, if rook b2, we swing over this way. Now he can't defend with the rook on the back rank check. So, rook b2. Now they claim mate in 9 here. And, yeah, see, we forced... When we made that king run, he's not able to bring back with the check. So that seems to be the key here. Let's back this up. Yeah, these silicone beasts. Well, I admitted I couldn't solve it. I had to resort to this. You need a solution. I'm not going to sign off without a solution, and I don't want to stay up all night. My voice is about shot. So here we do this, and now we swing over this way, and he has to come back. But now we're making a waiting move. I don't know. Do we need to? It's a little different than last time. Rook B1, Rook C1. Now it's giving a strange move. Bishop B3. Weird. That takes away the check. Okay. Now here. Now we go over this way. Ah, interesting. He can't take this. He needs to come back to E3 or move the king. And the moment he moves the king, he's messed up. Now if he goes here, we get this in, and we're threatening a mate. And let's see, rook here,
Check.
bishop here, threatening the mate. Rook E3, I come back. It's taking forever. Now here's this check.
Check.
Weird. I had this position. Oh, there. Yeah, I was driving that away. Yeah, this is the key. King B8.
Check.
I'm going to come back here. I don't know, rook D3. Rook A4. Now it's saying for black to take this, but we know that loses. What happens if he goes here? Oh, we take it. Duh. Yeah, see, we took that square from the rook. So let's see. If king back here, now we do that. That takes away this check. And if king here, we're going to get control of C8.
Check.
See?
Check.
That's a big difference. So if king this way, wait. Let's back up one more move. If rook, yeah, see the threat is here. And if king runs this way, this is mate immediately. So we have him cut off. Okay, so that's the basic rule. If your king's on the 6, you're going to win. That's the Philidor position. So you want to keep the guy's king out of there. If he gets in there, you can find the win. Now, your opponent might not find it. Now, I couldn't find it. I forgot it. You know, but certainly interesting topic for discussion. Okay, I made a long video of this.